This 64 Impala needs to be properly pimped out. Hi everybody, and a warm welcome back to Maple Leaf Customs in Switzerland. I'm Andrew. On the bench today is a 1:64 scale Hot Wheels 1964 Chevy Impala. It's a classic among cars. This is going to be a custom job done to spec for my good friend Rafeke, whom I met at a teacher's course in Prague while we both lived there. I asked him what his dream car was, and he said without pause, a 1964 Impala. Metallic blue, white interior, gold wire rims. He said, I always wanted to have that car and I should have bought one. Well, Rafiki, here comes a small-scale version of your dream car. Had a little bit of trouble while I was drilling out the chassis. My drill bit wasn't as sharp as it should have been and it slipped out. I hope you have a strong stomach. Oh! Alright, it's not that bad, but it's a setback to be sure. I'll show you how I repair that later on. There's a beautiful two-tone black and silver metallic paint on the body. I like that. Clear glass. It's a fairly new casting, no damage there. Basic black plastic interior, and I'm sending that plastic chassis to the hospital. The second surprise of this project is that my ferocious paint stripper barely made a dent on this mainline paint job. The black remains, but it was well loosened and almost could be scraped off with your fingernail. So that wasn't so bad either. You want to get yourself a set of these abrasive brush attachments. They come in different grits. It's a nice step to follow any wire wheel work that you do on the body. So with the casting all stripped down and degreased, I can give it a shot of primer from the spray can that I get at the hardware store. Just a no-name brand, nothing special. The next Four Horsemen Invitational is on a military theme. Due date for pics is the end of May. I've got an interesting old play art casting that I'm going to do a straight-up restoration on, followed by a Corvette C8 conversion. And I'm inviting you to join the Die-Cast International Builders in their 4th annual tribute to Scott Opa Koster, a good friend of the community who we still miss dearly. July 1st is Canada Day, and you've got another invitation to join in a special event. As you recall, Rafeke requested a metallic blue paint job on his Impala, and as is sometimes the case, I've got the paint, but it's in a spray can and I need to decant it first, let it degas for about 10 minutes, then I can put it directly into my airbrush and apply it a little more deftly and a softer touch. I will build this up in 2 or 3 different layers until it's just the right depth and shade of blue that I'm after. I'm using a 0.5 needle this time. That's laying down just beautifully. There's my busted up nose. That is absolutely irreparable. So I go into Tinkercad and combined a couple of parts that I found into this one-piece 1964 Impala grille with the correct dimensions to fit this casting. And it looks like that. It's nicely detailed. I'll try it out for a dry fit. Super good. Once it's chromed up, well, you tell me at the end of the video. I think it's a great fix for my bonehead mistake. Today's community shoutout goes to my friend Timo's Dinky and Diecast. Now, Timo's been on the scene for a while, but he's created this new channel for monetization purposes, I believe, and he is transferring all of his old videos, which are excellent, over to here. I'm trying to help him get all of his old subs, like me, onto the new site, so please follow the link in the description. Thanks for doing that. I used a whole lot of Google images from 64 Impalas to create my own period-correct decals and put them in the right placement around the car. I start with ghost white decals, as is always the case on a dark body. When they're cured up, I can apply the color decals on top of those. Even says Chevrolet over the badge. That's so tiny. Side badges just behind the front wheels. And I'll color in the triple tail lights at the back. I've gone ahead and superglued my 3D printed replacement grille, so it's now attached to the casting and not the plastic chassis. A little bit of black wash to bring out the details, and another Chevy badge up front. I've got a lifelong supply of these fingernail art sticky strips in every color of the rainbow from the beauty department aisle. I found these ones on Amazon because I want to put a chrome stripe right down the side of my Impala, and I could never hand paint that accurately. But look how easy this application is. These have a pretty sticky backing. In the case of the Impala, it's a straight line, tip to tail. Press it down, and I'll cut it to length. That's perfect. It needs to be clear coated over at the end for permanent stick. I use a Gaahleri metallic marker to highlight the exhaust on the freshly painted plastic chassis. Rechrome the back. I'll hit the undercarriage with some matte clear coat. And I'm ready to put this all together again. The Impala was built by Chevrolet for model years 1958 to 1985. 94 to 96, and 2000 to 2020. It was Chevy's flagship passenger car and was among the better-selling American-made automobiles in the United States. Rafeke wanted some gold wire rims, so I found these Samed real rubber tires. White walls. I hope his dream car is pretty close to what he had in mind. The black interior got resprayed in white according to his wish list. And on goes the refurbed chassis. Screws have to be just right, not too tight, not too loose, to ensure that we've got a good roller. So I'll check that out now. Pass. Let's have a closer look. I think it turned out really fine, especially with the aggravation of that accident right at the beginning. There's the 3D printed replacement grille. Pretty good save, I think. Rafeke, your Impala now has a story. New tires, blue metallic paint to spec, period correct decal work. Everything as requested. And you know what? You gotta look pretty close. I put a cross member right at the front where it had been broken off, so that unfortunate accident is not so apparent in the end. I did like the two-tone black and silver on the original casting. Pretty low stance, which I tried to maintain. There it is, and all the finished specs as requested by my good friend Rafeke. It is a nice looking model Chevy, isn't it? Stands out in the garage too, even in black and white. I made up a special custom acrylic display case for you, Rafeke, with a little bit of brick wall graffiti work on it, and a holographic certificate of authenticity. This one will ship from Basel to you in Prague, my favorite European capital city. Thanks for visiting my channel today, everyone. Come on back soon and often. It's coffee time.